Jack was born to unknown parents in Liberia. At some point, he'll be taken by Saul the Snake, where he'll be trained as a child soldier to fight for the country's civil war. After the war, Jack will be placed into a relief center. Growing up, he will suppress his memories. Eventually, by 2007, Jack will meet Rose before being assigned to Foxhound, where he'll be tasked in destroying the production of Metal Gear. But during this, it'll be revealed that Raiden was only a puppet for the Patriots and that his entire mission was all part of their plan. Raiden would do battle with Saldus, and after a prolonged battle, Raiden would emerge the winner. Afterwards, Raiden would meet up with Rose, which Raiden would forgive her, deciding to live the rest of their lives together, but Raiden would be captured by the Patriots and used as a test subject, where he'll be given a cybernetic body. But thanks to Paradise Lost Army, Raiden will manage to escape captivity. In 2014, Raiden will assist Nick and Naomi in a PMC ambush where he would encounter a man named Vamp. Despite managing to escape, Raiden will be badly injured, where he'll be taken to receive treatment from Big Mama. After his recovery, Raiden would track down Snake to Shadow Moses, where he would fight Vamp again. But this time, Raiden will manage to emerge the winner. However, during a grueling battle with Liquid Ocelot, Raiden will save Snake from being crushed by Outer Haven, but would unfortunately be severely injured. Afterwards, Raiden would be given new cybernetic enhancements and would be visited by Rose and his son John, where Rose would assure Raiden that he was no beast but her husband, and Raiden would vow that he was done running. Eventually, Raiden would begin working for an organization known as Maverick, but one day while in Africa, the Prime Minister would be attacked by Samuel Rodriguez and Sundowner. Raiden would manage to track down Sam and Sundowner, but Raiden would be no match for the cyborg samurai. Raiden would once again go through cybernetic enhancements before tracking down Desperado, where he would defeat several cyborgs, Monsoon, Sundowner, and eventually Jetstream Sam, before making his way to Pakistan, where he would do battle with Armstrong. After a prolonged fight, Bladewolf would pass down Sam's moral sound to him to assist Raiden, where he would eventually emerge victorious, finally putting an end to Armstrong's plans once and for all. 2B was created at an unknown point, with the purpose being to ensure that Unit 9S would not find the true purpose behind the Yorha project. By the events of Nier Automata, 2B with other units would be sent to investigate an abandoned factory. However, 2B will be the only unit remaining, where she would encounter 9S. The two would continue to investigate the factory. However, 2B will encounter a Goliath. By 9S weakening it, he would be severely injured, and after a prolonged fight, 2B would defeat the Goliath. But this wouldn't be the end. Several more Goliaths would show up, forcing the two to activate their black boxes. After being rebooted, the two would be tasked in providing reconnaissance. During their time on Earth, the two will encounter a pair of unknown androids codenamed Adam and Eve, and pacifists named Pascal. Later into their operation, they will encounter a titanic machine, but after a prolonged battle, despite being able to destroy it, 9S will be caught in the blast, sending him far away. 9S will be recovered by Adam, where he will wait for 2B to arrive. The two fight with 2B emerging the winner. However, Eve will be enraged at this and will attack the resistance camp, where he will do battle with 2B and 9S. After a prolonged battle, 2B would defeat. As a result of 9S hacking into Eve, 9S will be corrupted. Out of mercy, 2B would agree to kill 9S, but this would be short-lived as 9S will be rebooted in the body of a large machine, and 9S will later be revived in a new body. 2B, along with many other B-type units, would be sent as a guerrilla squad. However, 2B, along with many other units, will be infected with a virus. 2B and 9S will be forced to detonate their black boxes again to port their data to command, but it'll be too late as the virus would already spread to the bunker. Returning back to Earth, but 2B will crash land only to be infected with the virus. Eventually, 2B will encounter A2, to which she will entrust her memories and her sword upon the android. Out of mercy, A2 would kill 2B, to which 9S would witness this and would battle A2. Despite holding her own, she would hesitate at 2B's voice, allowing 9S to impale her, but he would suddenly fall on 2B's sword, killing them both. However, their pods would now have the will of their own, or they would rebuild the two androids. Well, what's up? We're here with a cyborg showdown where I'll be having my favorite Metal Gear character, Raiden, go against Yorha's Type 2B to see which one of these cyborgs will come out on top. Now, as for my resources, I'll be taking Raiden strictly by the end of Metal Gear Rising, and 2B will only be coming from Nier Automata, and I'll be taking some elements from the animation, mainly to fill in any gaps. Right, with all that out of the way, let's start by comparing and contrasting these two physically. By the time of being turned into cyborg, Raiden would be a young adult. After receiving an upgrade, he will stand at 6'4". Even before being enhanced, Raiden is insanely strong. He can cut through Solidus' exosuit, which can block point-blank explosions. After becoming a cyborg, he can damage and fling around Metal Gear geckos by breakdancing, stopped Outer Haven with a single hand, and threw Metal Gear Ray and stopped a strike from it. And later would go on to trade blows with Sam, who could send him flying, and should scale to enhance Raiden. And speaking of which, after being enhanced, Raiden lifted and threw Metal Gear Excelsis, and wielded it its building-sized sword. And moments after that, damage even just slightly Senator Armstrong, who at the time was enhanced by nail machines, but a stronger version than the one that Sam fought. Speed-wise, Raiden is just fast. He's dodged a plasma beam from Metal Gear Ray, and Metal Gears are shown to have light speed reaction time, being able to dodge a laser beam. After being enhanced, matched Sam, whose speed blitzed his previous body, despite being faster than Metal Gears with light speed reaction time. He also reacted to Blade Wolf, who is faster than an enhanced Raiden, despite a pre-enhanced Raiden previous feats that I just mentioned. As for durability, Raiden can take one hell of a beating. He's taken hits from Armstrong that sent him flying several times, with Armstrong's attacks being able to heavily damage the surface of Metal Gear Excelsis, and just layer into their fight, tank the full brunt of Metal Gear Excelsis exploding, which has been counted to be city level. Raiden has also had his arm cut off by Sam. He's been stabbed many times by a vamp, as well being impaled through the gut. He also remained unharmed after falling from a transport helicopter, survived Outer Haven stopping on top of him. However, with the right amount of damage, Raiden can and will go down. By the end of Nier Automata, 2B's model takes the form of a young adult female, standing around 5'5". Despite not seeming like much, 2B is very strong. She can slice apart lesser robots with ease. She kicked off of a Goliath's arm, and speaking of which, wielded a Goliath's arm as a weapon. She cut through a large machine with few swings of her sword. She cut through Eve's arm, who was enraged at the time, and had merged with dozens of machines. Speed-wise, 2B can dodge lasers, she can speed blitz lesser machines, and she can contend with other Yorha androids such as A2, who should scale to 2B. As far as durability goes, 2B is quite tanky. She's taken hits from Adam and Eve. She remained unscathed after crashing her fight unit, not once, but twice. However, a well-placed stab will be more than enough to put her down, just like you or me. Both cyborgs are certainly at the top of their verse, but one just edges out the other. Starting off with strength, it's clearly in Raiden's favor. 2B's best strength feat is her clashing with Eve. Raiden's best showing of strength is him lifting and throwing Metal Gear Excelsis, which is far more impressive than anything that 2B has done. Even when lowballed, Raiden will still be stronger than both Am and Eve, let alone 2B. Now, speed is more fair. And to be honest, I'll say they're even, both having light speed reaction time, and their showings really wouldn't place one over the other. Durability is not even a contest. 2B and by extension 9F and A2 have been shown to go down by simple impalement and have been severely injured after having a limb removed. And well, Raiden has been stabbed by Lexa Vamp, impaled several times, has arm cuffed not once but 2 times, and has tanked a beatdown by Senator Armstrong, a stronger version than the one that Sam had fought. So I give Raiden the clear edge in physical capabilities. Raiden will be bringing one weapon into this fight, stabbing his high-frequency blade given to him after receiving his upgrade. This blade can damage Metal Gear Excelsis as well as Blade Wolf's armor, but tougher materials such as nail machines can get around this. However, against lesser materials, that really wouldn't matter much, since Raiden's high-frequency blade ignores durability. Raiden also has 2 abilities, Blade Mode, which greatly enhances strikes to finish off opponents, but they must be weakened first, and his Ripper Mode, which nullifies his senses for pain, and it's also stated that both Blade Mode and Ripper Mode is a 10 times physical multiplier. 2B will be bringing a total of 5 weapons into this fight. Her primary sword, Virtue's Contract, is Katana, and Virtue's Tree, which seems to be an Odachi style sword. Both blades designed to destroy machines, and more designed for slashing. 2B also has up to 3 pods. Her first fires a Gatling gun. The second fires off rockets, and the third fires off a laser stream. Each pod came with a program that gave them a unique attack. Her first pod can slash all opponents around her, and her second can fire off spears, and her third pod sends out a shockwave after 2B slams her pod into the ground. Yeah, there's not even debate. Despite Raiden having a better sword which ignores durability, now, even if you gave 2B the benefit of the doubt that her sword could theoretically compete with Raiden's high frequency blade, it wouldn't matter due to it being longer and deals out far more damage. Now, Raiden doesn't have any extra gear, so 2B takes this by default, and due to how these two fight, 2B overall has more combative options since 2B fights at both range and close range, while Raiden is strictly a close range combatant. Plus, her pods also have several ways to keep Raiden at a distance, from bullets, rockets, a laser, and spears. So I give 2B the slight edge in weapons and equipment. Just like with all combatants who use weapons, I'll be using Star Wars Lightsaber fine forms to better analyze and illustrate how a combatant approaches combat. With that said, let's begin. Growing up, being trained as a child soldier, and being inspired by the way of ninjas, Raiden will be a skilled swordsman nonetheless. It's my belief that Raiden will be skilled in Form 4 Taro, Form 5 Shin/Jinso, Form 2 Makashi. Form 4 trains the user to use acrobatics and aggression to overwhelm an opponent. However, the form isn't designed to be used in close quarters. Form 5 trains the user to block or parry before counterattacking with devastating assault, as well as deflecting projectiles, while Form 2 is designed for blade-on-blade combat, training a user to use feint and precision strikes. However, the form does lack power behind its strikes. As an overall combatant, I would best describe Raiden as a speed fencer, swift precision strikes to break through an opponent's guard. By the time of Revengeance, Raiden will become quite accustomed to cybernetic enhancements. If anything, became a better swordsman than Grey Fox, who was a skilled child soldier before receiving his exoskeleton. Though easily below Big Boss, Raiden outdueled Saldus despite Saldus training Raiden using 2 blades with a powerful exosuit, and Sam, who's a skilled samurai despite not having any cybernetic enhancements, and Sam, before Raiden received his upgrade, managed to easily pick apart the flaws of Raiden's fighting style. During their first engagement, knowing full well that Raiden was self-taught, he also defeated the Winds of Destruction such as Sundowner, Mistrial, and Monsoon, who are each skilled in their own way with different enhancements. It can be assumed that 2B's fighting style will be programmed, but due to facing multiple machines at a time, it can be assumed that 2B will be skilled in Forms 1 Shisho, Form 5 Jinso, Form 6 Niman. Form 1 trains the user to use wide sweeping strikes to deal with groups of opponents, however, the form can be easily countered by a well-trained opponent. Form 5 trains the user to dodge before immediately counterattack with devastating assault. Form 6, on the other hand, can only be taught after mastering all previous 5 forms to apply a user's blade and force abilities, or in 2B's case, her blade and equipment. As combatant, 2B can best be described as a rush-style fighter, often speed blitzing multiple machines at once, as well as mixing her gear and secondary sword into her attacks. Both cyborgs are certainly skilled swordsmen, but there's no question that Raiden is a superior swordsman. Even before receiving his enhancements, Raiden was a skilled swordsman, outdoing Saldus, who trained Raiden. Now, if this was Raiden before receiving his upgrade, then 2B will be the superior fighter, since Raiden, after being turned into a cyborg, was still learning to adapt to his enhancement, which is why Vamp was able to land many hits on him during their first fight. But by the events of Revengeance, that's not the case. 2B may be more creative, I'll give her that, but something that Raiden hasn't already dealt with, since Sundowner and Mistral both utilize gear with their blades, not to mention that Raiden is a better swordsman, basically by default. 2B's blade skills are more designed to deal with mindless machines, not trained cyborgs like Raiden. Sure, 2B may be able to contend with other androids, such as A2. Not to say that 2B's forms are useless, Okay, they might be, because not only has Raiden fought and bested someone who uses dual blades, but was trained by the exact same person who also utilized his gear into his fighting style. So with that, I give Raiden the edge in combat skills and tactics. Let's just say that Maverick wants to test out Raiden's new enhancements, so they send Raiden to the Sea Ruins, and Yorha sends out 2B to Earth along with many other B-type units to clear out any machine life forms. The cyborg easily disposes of lesser machines until he starts encountering androids dressed in black with visors. Despite requiring more effort, Raiden eventually finds himself in a large cave in what used to be an open field, now occupied by class buildings. Dr. finishes filling Raiden in on his enhancements. That is, until the cyborg is force jumped from a pillar as rockets are fired in his direction. Raiden immediately knows that this is his opponent as he sizes up 2B, before telling Dr. that he'll get back to him, activating his visor as he unsheathes his sword, taking combat stance. 2B draws Virtue's contract, taking combat stance herself. The two cyborgs instantly close the distance, entering a blade lock. 2B finds herself on the defense, but her pod fires his Gatling gun, forcing Raiden to break away to deflect the shot sent his way. The android takes the opening to close distance between her and Raiden, starting off with standard swordplay to feel the other out, but it's quickly proven that Raiden is a superior swordsman, not willing to go down easily. 2B tosses her primary sword at the cyborg like a saw blade. Raiden manages to deflect the sword sent his way, but still takes a slash to his side. Seeing opening, Raiden slashes into 2B's shoulder. Recoiling back, 2B has her paw slashed at the cyborg as he enters her range, allowing her to get in a quick combo before entering another blade lock, but this time her sword begins to chip away. Breaking off, 2B switches her pod out to fire off his missiles, but now Raiden has a proper feel of her strategy. The android is about to have her pod fire off his spears, but Jack anticipates this and in a single swing cuts her pod in two. Not very pleased at the loss of her equipment, 2B rushes towards Cyborg. As the two are about to clash blades at the last possible moment, the android slams her pod into the ground, creating a shockwave. Raiden jumps over it, but this is what 2B want him to do. The android tosses Virtue's tree into Raiden. As she's about to bring down Virtue's contract to decapitate Raiden, Raiden glows red before all she sees is blurred movement. Next thing she knows, her arms are severed off at the elbows before being impaled with Virtue's contract, but what she sees next is a strike that removes her head. Next thing, 2B wakes up in her room, remembering their battle, while Raiden is sent off to begin his mission. It was that I declared Raiden, the cyborg ninja, the winner. Yeah, this was another one of those matches where I knew how it was going to end after doing my research. But to be honest, in reality, this is going to be a fight that will end in seconds. To be blunt, even if 2B swords could compete with Raiden's high frequency blade or even match it wouldn't matter because he has outright defeated opponents who are better than 2B in terms of experience and gear. And once Raiden has taken enough damage, it's GG from there, since his Ripper mode and Blade mode are two abilities that 2B has no counter to. As for her pods, they're simply a liability. Yes, they will keep the cyborg on its toes, but that's really it. Raiden is faster than bullets, rockets, and has flat out dodge plasma beams. And this also goes to show there's a huge difference between knowing how to fight and reteaching yourself how to properly fight and using cybernetic enhancements to adjust your fighting style. So at the end of the day, Raiden wins 10 out of 10 times. The best that 2B has going for her is better gear and is better tactician. But that really doesn't matter when your opponent can take damage to dish out, is stronger, and has sword that ignores durability. To be honest, this was kind of my fault because I forgot that Raiden's high frequency blade ignores durability. So what ultimately came down to was, could 2B use her gear to get around the high frequency blade? And the answer is hell no. The only way that is happening is if 2B gets extremely lucky. But if you could honestly think of any ways that 2B could win, no, seriously, tell me how, in full detail. And with that said, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow my Twitter if you care about that, and I'll see you all next time.
What the hell was that?
Every living thing you consume makes you stronger. You take their shapes, and you take their memories.
I've heard you talking. I've seen your weird virus shit, but I haven't seen nothing that'll make me believe you over them.
No? They cut you, Heller. They put you in a cage with 50 starving infected, and then they tried to burn you alive. I didn't release the virus. And I didn't kill your wife and kid.
So what do you want? You want to fight them?
I want to destroy them. Blackwatch and Gentek and their virus. And I want your help. But there's something you need to do first. Gentek's been experimenting with the virus, making all kinds of infected creatures. You need that DNA. When you're ready, I'll find you. And for God's sake, man, put some fucking clothes on.
Took you a while to find me, boy.
Selling force conduits. Don't you have enough money already?
The world needs to experience firsthand the evil of our kind.
What? You're trying to scare people?
Yes. Conduits must be cleansed from this earth.
So you're gonna kickstart a genocide?
Conduits are an abomination.
Oh, do you really think that I'm the demon? The demon of Empire City?
No, Cole. I think we're both demons. Our pride has turned us into monsters.
I finally get it. Oh, you thought the race sphere was gonna turn you into some sort of shiny superhuman. But instead it turned you into a 50-foot maggot.
Just get